Katie Thurston burst onto The Bachelor with a bold entrance, instantly capturing the attention of viewers and fellow contestants alike. From the moment she stepped onto the iconic red carpet, Katie made it clear she wasn't there to blend in or play by anyone else's rules. Her confidence radiated, and her willingness to be vulnerable set her apart in a world where appearances often matter most. Katie's mission was simple but powerful: to be unapologetically herself, no matter the cost. She refused to hide her quirks or opinions, and her authenticity resonated with audiences who were craving something real. Whether she was standing up for herself or supporting others, Katie's presence was a breath of fresh air in the high-pressure world of reality television. Her candidness, quick wit, and infectious humour made her a standout contestant. Katie wasn't afraid to speak her mind, even when it meant challenging the status quo or calling out bad behaviour. She brought a sense of fun and lightness to the show, but also showed a deep sense of empathy and strength, quickly becoming a fan favourite. Her unique blend of humour, honesty, and courage led her to be chosen as the Bachelorette, a role that would put her in the spotlight and test her even further. As the lead, Katie continued to break the mould, making bold decisions and staying true to her values, even when faced with difficult choices. After her whirlwind journey on reality TV, Katie pivoted to stand-up comedy, bravely sharing her life's ups and downs with audiences across the country. On stage, she found a new way to connect with people, using humour and honesty to turn her experiences into relatable stories that inspired laughter and reflection. But just as she was finding her stride in this new chapter, life threw her a challenge far greater than any rose ceremony, one that would test her resilience, push her to her limits, and ultimately redefine her legacy. Katie's journey was far from over. In fact, it was only just beginning. In the warm, sunlit days of the summer of 2024, Katie's life seemed to be on a steady, hopeful path. But one ordinary morning, as she got ready for work, she discovered a lump in her breast, a chilling echo of a scare she'd faced in her 20s. The memory of that earlier fear came rushing back, but this time she was older, with more responsibilities and dreams for the future. At first, doctors reassured her that it was likely nothing serious, and Katie tried to push the worry aside, focusing on her busy life. But as the weeks passed, the lump didn't go away. Instead, her anxiety grew, quietly shadowing her daily routines and making it hard to concentrate on anything else. She found herself checking the lump constantly, unable to shake the feeling that something was wrong. After months of medical appointments, tests, and sleepless nights, the answer finally came. On February 8, 2025, Katie sat in a sterile doctor's office and heard the words she'd been dreading: invasive ductal carcinoma, breast cancer. The diagnosis was a devastating blow, shattering her sense of security and changing everything in an instant. The shock was overwhelming. At just 34 years old, Katie had been planning her future, thinking about travel, career moves, and maybe even starting a family. Suddenly, all those plans were put on hold, replaced by a whirlwind of fear, uncertainty, and grief for the life she thought she'd have. But Katie refused to let cancer define her story. True to her resilient spirit, she decided to go public with her diagnosis, sharing her raw emotions, fears, and determination on Instagram. She posted candid updates, not shying away from the hard truths, and invited her followers into her journey. Her openness transformed what could have been a lonely, private battle into a powerful public platform. Katie's vulnerability encouraged others to pay attention to their own health, to speak up about their worries, and to seek help without shame or delay. Through her honesty and courage, Katie became a beacon of hope for countless women. She turned her pain into purpose, building a community of support and reminding everyone that even in the darkest times, no one has to face their fears alone. Just as Katie began to process her diagnosis, the world seemed to shift beneath her feet. The initial shock was overwhelming, but she tried to steady herself, determined to face whatever came next with courage and resolve. Then, more tests revealed the cancer had spread to her liver, stage 4. The news hit like a tidal wave, upending any sense of certainty she had left. Suddenly, the stakes were higher, and the path forward was even more uncertain. Katie and her loved ones found themselves grappling with fear, confusion, and 1,000 questions. What would treatment look like now? Was there still hope? Every conversation with her doctors felt urgent, every decision critical. The treatment plan shifted rapidly, first aggressive chemotherapy, with the hope of slowing the cancer's relentless advance. The hospital became a second home, and Katie braced herself for the physical and emotional toll of each infusion. But then, just as she was adjusting to this new reality, everything changed again. A sudden halt came when new pathology contradicted the original diagnosis, leaving everyone reeling and uncertain about the next steps. Her cancer was reclassified as HER2 negative, forcing doctors to rethink her entire treatment. The medical team pored over her records, searching for answers, while Katie waited anxiously for a new plan to emerge. Through it all, Katie documented every twist, from medication side effects to moments of despair and hope, on her booby broadcast. She shared the raw reality of her journey, her fears, her frustrations, and the small victories that kept her going. Her transparency demystified the cancer journey, showing it's okay to be scared and strong at the same time. By opening up about her struggles, she gave others permission to feel their own emotions without shame. She became a beacon for others, lighting the way through uncertainty. Her courage inspired countless people to keep fighting, even when the odds seemed insurmountable. Katie's story was no longer just her own. It was a guide for anyone facing the unknown, a testament to the power of vulnerability, resilience, and community in the face of life's greatest challenges. Amidst her diagnosis, Katie and Jeff Arcuri fast-tracked their wedding, marrying in an intimate backyard ceremony. Their vows became a promise to face whatever came next, together. Support poured in, including a heartfelt message from ex-fiancé Blake Moynes, showing the lasting impact of Katie's kindness. Facing fertility challenges, Katie and Jeff underwent IVF, freezing embryos as a symbol of hope for the future. Katie spoke openly about every possibility, meeting each with courage and honesty. Katie chose to use her platform for advocacy, launching the Booby broadcast to educate and empower young women. Her message was clear: be proactive, trust your instincts, and demand answers about your health. Her story inspired thousands to get checked, some catching cancer early because of her example. Bachelor Nation and beyond rallied around her, amplifying her message. Katie's raw vulnerability, sharing both her fears and victories, made her advocacy deeply relatable. She created a space where no one had to feel alone in their fight. As of September 2025, Katie's scans show no detectable cancer in her liver, a monumental victory. She continues treatment, now on a maintenance plan, with hope for a double mastectomy ahead. Katie's journey has transformed her into a passionate advocate, using her story to save lives. She reminds us all to be our own best advocates and never give up. Her fight is far from over, but she faces the future with courage, purpose, and an army of supporters. Katie Thurston's bravest chapter is still being written. Breast cancer from Katie Thurston.